I like Persona 4. Really, I do. As the best Warcraft content creator out there, I have to say that I like Persona 4. Okay, I like Japanese stuff because they're fun, and compared to what we have now in the West, well, I would much rather play old Japanese stuff, to be honest. But Persona 4 suffers from this problem that its biggest fans are the people that didn't play the game. And what I mean by that is this discourse that appears thanks to Kanji and Naoto. Now, these characters are interesting characters in their own right because they talk about, societal norms and how women should be respected in a man's workplace, and, how maybe liking more feminine things doesn't make you a homosexual. No, that's not about it. Kanji is gay and Naoto's trans because that's what happens in the mind of someone that hasn't played the game and just takes things as face value. And you know what? It's even worse than that because it's not even at face value. Excuse me for that. It's because they went too much into this deconstruction of the meta and narrative. And it's what happens when you can't see the forest because of the trees. They start getting these ideas that these characters reflect exactly their view upon the world, and they reflect exactly the talking points that they have, and that these characters are butchered by writers that, let's be honest, some of them are better than most of us, that really can't handle it properly. Oh, Persona 4 was a failure for Kanji because rather than making him gay, they went with his arc. This whole thing with Kanji is that he likes more feminine stuff, like sewing, for example. And because of that, he portrays a more masculine, a more intimidating persona in such a way that he beats up a gang of bikers by himself. And for a teenager in Japan, I think that's pretty interesting. But then again, we've seen what teenagers in Japan can do once they start fighting gods. So, it's normal for them. But despite that, people seem to consider that, Kanji is gay and the game failed him, that Naoto is trans and the game failed them. The game didn't fail them. What you fail to understand is that they're not. That's the most important thing. It's okay to be a tomboy. It's okay to like more feminine stuff as a man. Let's be honest. Mike Tyson took care of pigeons. Nothing says manliness about taking care of pigeons, the rats of cities. The flying rats of cities, to be more precise. Nothing says manliness about that, but dare say that to Mike Tyson's face, and you probably will need reconstruction surgery after that. Because it's simple. People can like things that are not specific to their gender. And it's so easy to understand, and it's so simple. And yet, the people that cry the most about societal norms being imposed on them are the ones that want to impose their own norms on others for doing things that are a little bit strange. And Naoto is an even worse example and worse things you can talk about, because Naoto's whole character arc talks about misogyny in the Japanese workplace. And this game was released in 2010, if I remember correctly. Yeah, around that line. It's not speaking to, this person having dysphoria. No, it's this person that wants to be respected in their field, but are kind of scared they won't really receive that respect because they are the wrong gender or they're too young. Remember that. And their arc basically ends with simple, it's okay to be a woman in a man's world, in a workplace that is full with men. You know what no game ever talks about? The misogyny that exists in women's workplace to men. And you know why nobody really talks about that? Because it's easy for women to go into a man's world, into a man's workplace. For example, female engineers and so on. But it's hard for a man to crack that thing and go into a more woman-dominated space. That's why there's so few male kindergarten teachers. That and, the other things and problems that exist with that. Now, I won't blame a game from 2010 for not talking about an issue that really exists since a long time, because that's not the point. The point right now is that people don't understand this. The game writes the story for you. It's right there in front of your eyes. If you know how to read and you're not Steve Donser, you can probably understand the story. But people don't, either because they didn't play the game, either because they've watched a YouTuber play it and that YouTuber didn't understand it. It doesn't work. You can, as again, I'm gonna repeat myself, you can like feminine things and be a man. Mike Tyson's the best example out there. And you can probably get respect as a woman that works in a more male-oriented workplace. Please understand this. I know you didn't play Persona 4, okay? We already established that because you think Kanji is gay and Naoto's trans. We get it. You didn't play Persona 4. Fine. But you need to understand, just because you think you're this sort of genius media literacy critic that has a degree in English of all things, that you're somehow this marvelous genius that can see the nuances in things that are not out there. No, they don't exist for a reason, okay? We all know that, but you seem to be kind of blinded by your own stupidity in this. So here's my advice for you. Whenever you think you're a genius, take a step back and let people like myself do the talking. Because it's clear that your ideas are bad, you don't understand text that's written right in front of you or spoken to you in some cases, and you should feel bad about this.